Hey everyone, it's Welonz. Recently I had the opportunity to preview an upcoming space game called Deliver Us Mars. It's a sequel to a game I've played on the channel before, Deliver Us the Moon, which I really enjoyed actually, so I've been very excited about this. Today I can share some of what I've seen with you. It's gonna jump around a little bit though because I'm trying to pick out the most interesting bits. I wasn't able to commentate as I was trying it out, so for the most part I'll let you enjoy it, and I'll jump in from time to time. So what we're looking at here is a decryption puzzle where we have to align the pieces to the sphere in the middle to activate a memory hologram.
You'll all be escorted back to your chambers. Report to your superiors for the graveyard shift. I'd heard you got an Isaac to help you out on this little project. A project I made very clear wasn't going to happen.
People need help, William.
People need to work. If they spend nights here and off the work rosters, it only halts the progress even more. Besides, we need to keep this wing open for pregnancies.
Ah yes, all the pregnant women in the colony. Best leave some beds open to them, rather than real people who need real rehabilitation.
But I didn't walk in on rehabilitation, did I? What did I walk in on, Rosa? Opposition?
This place is collapsing, William. The dust storms are wearing down our walls and roofs. The mutations in Odom speak for themselves. We are cooped up inside on a planet we shouldn't be on. There's no way this will work. We have to return to Earth.
These hardships are the cost of evolution and progress. We will push through.
After everything that's happened over the past few years, do you seriously think that we're better off here than we were on Earth?
Security will be down to put everything back the way it should be in an hour.
Thanks for the backup.
I'm sorry.
I don't understand you, Isaac. You hear the same voices in the hallways. We've put years into this place and it's not working. Not enough space, not enough food, not enough progress. Why are you staying quiet?
It's just not that simple.
People left their families to come here. You left your family to come here. Isn't it time you saw them again? Isaac, wait. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so back in Deliver Us the Moon, which you don't have to have played to play Deliver Us Mars, Earth was dying, there was an energy crisis, there were dust storms, and it was just the natural resources were all depleted. And one of the things they tried doing was going to the moon to look for solutions. But the people, a portion of the people who ended up going to the moon, decided to abandon Earth. They were like, well, I don't think it's gonna work out, so bye, and they just went elsewhere in space. And it looks like Mars is where they decided to land at, which looks like it's clearly not rainbows and sunshine either. They were having their own problems to deal with. This time we play as Kathy, who is a character who was mentioned in the first game, but we never directly saw her. So it's been 10 years, she's all grown up now, and she's here to find out what happened on Mars. Except not only for record-keeping or scientific reasons, it's also because her dad is exactly the Isaac that was mentioned in that scene. So in this part, I'm working on a power routing puzzle of sorts, where I'm trying to point a energy beam, a power beam, at some locked doors so I can get them open. One of them opened up, but the other one is overpowered right now. It's got too much power going into it, so I have to bring this dampening device to lower the power output on the beam before it reaches the receptacle. The wrong beam. The other one. Please. Yeah, it took me a little bit to figure out, but that's how it's done, and you can see there's the half blue circle indicating that it's correct, and that's how we get the door opening. I got to try out bits of two levels. The first one was all indoors, and the second one here was more outdoorsy. It's got that orange Mars kind of look. This one was at a crash site. One of my favorite things about Deliver Us the Moon was how hands-on the puzzles felt like, because it made me feel like I was getting some actual space engineer astronaut stuff done. And the cutting with the little beam is back. Noted. There's also tons of stuff to scan in the environment for lore. And there's a new traversal mechanic here. You can climb on walls to get across. If I remember right, the first one was mostly platforming with jumping, so this is a big difference here. Again, it feels very hands-on.
Is it still functional? Scan it.
There's a reactor here. I love that little cutting mechanic. It's so small, but it adds so much.
Thank God. Let's get it going. Just a shame we won't be able to take it back with us. There's nothing like this on Earth.
Right, so there's a reactor puzzle here, which is the same in concept as the previous one that we saw, except 20 million times harder. Yeah, I can't show the solution now, but it took me quite a while to figure out.
Alright. The axis is misaligned. Hopefully the hydraulics survived the crash. I'll head to the bridge now to check.
Fingers crossed.
Ayla, we need to head up to the dish and clear the rubble from the joints manually.
You might remember back in the first one, we were constantly trying to fix broken things as well, and we had to do it manually because, well, who else is gonna do it if you don't do it? Thankfully, we are a qualified space engineer, so we can do all that, I think. Am I qualified? Oh, let's hope so. And there you go.
Right. Moment of truth. Time to reconnect the dish, Ayla. If this doesn't work, well, we'll never get into the Panopticon. We'll go home.
Oh, I actually hadn't caught this as I was playing, but it sounds like we're stuck on Mars. Maybe some disaster happened. Well, this is pretty much the end of the demo I got to play. We go back to the control panel and we try to use the computer systems to connect this dish to wherever it's supposed to go to. Yeah, I mean, my initial impressions are that it's like Deliver Us the Moon, but everything is a little better. I don't think we ever even had people's faces back in the first one. It was always the holograms or somebody's wearing a helmet, but this time we didn't get to see too much of it here, but Kathy does have a face, and I've seen other faces in the trailer as well. All in all, I'm just really happy to see that Deliver Us the Moon is gonna get a continuation to its story, because it did leave off on a spot where there were multiple possibilities that weren't pursued at the time, so glad to see that we'll get to see what happens next. Feel free to let me know what you thought of the game so far, and if you're interested in seeing more, then come back next February when the game comes out and we'll be playing it together. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in another place in another time. Bye!